treating your bees for mites. One of the most important things that we can do as beekeepers is treat for mites. And you might say, hey, what is mites? If you look at this arrow, that little brown round bug that's on the bee there, that is Varroa. And Varroa comes with viruses. They burrow in. They're a parasite of sorts that live off the bee. And when they're living off the bee, they're also giving the virus to the bees. So very, very critical that we understand that mites are not our best friend. Our bees are. And how we do this as beekeepers is we want to limit those viruses or Varroa so that there's no issues within our apiary. And I want to step us through why we do what we do this time of the year. So when mites give viruses to the hives, we can think of it as one of our children came home from school and he got a virus from somebody at school. Either my wife or I will be tending to our child and he coughs in our face. When that cough happens, now we have gotten that virus into our respiratory.
Thanks, Junior.
Yes. And so now, 2-3 days down the road, now I start coming down with it. And then I give it to my wife, and now everybody has it. The same thing can be said for Varroa. They give this to the bee, and the bee gives it to others within the hive. And then the whole hive begins to collapse and they go and drift. Now, drift is when one or more bees go from their original hive to the second hive. Maybe they might even join that hive at some point. While they're in that hive, they're giving the virus off there. Then let's just say they didn't think the second hive was good, so they went to the third hive and the fourth hive. And now that virus has started over and over again. And what we're seeing from beekeepers and commercial beekeepers is that once that virus gets going, it will decimate your apiary. There's really no way to get in front of it once it's going wide open within each of the hives. Extremely strong hives will defend that drift coming in. The guard bees will say, no, you can't enter, and off they go to the next hive. So the really super strong hives tend to have a very good defense, and they can get around this virus. Now, that is not a guarantee, but it's just a little bit of insight that I've seen through the years. When one colony is affected, other hives will also be under the threat of colony collapse. Super high losses, somewhere around 1.3 million hives have been lost, the last numbers that I have seen. So don't be fooled when you see companies that promise high hygienics that the bees are cleaning themselves and thus there won't be any Varroa that are coming into the hive. Their DNA tells them to be hygienic. They're already going to try to clean each other, but that is no guarantee that a Varroa will not get into your hive. And then top that off with the virus drift is real and it is deadly to your bees. So what do we do to keep Varroa or mites out of our hives? When you treat, you want to be sure that you read the directions on the packaging. Even if you're buying the same product year over year, be sure to look at it because each of the companies out there are altering some of their formulas in order to have a bigger treatment for the bees on other viruses that were not commonly seen prior to. So read the directions. For example, Formic Pro, you cannot treat in temperatures above 90 degrees, but you can with Apivar. Both of them use oxalic acid or rhubarb extract, completely 100% organic. I don't believe in treating with chemicals, have never done, and probably never will. If you do not follow the procedures, though, you will lose bees and you will lose hives because there are set times that it needs to be stopped up with nothing going in or out, and then others that you'll open it on up. Read your directions and be really thoughtful as you do step by step on the treatments.